I just wanted to talk about Netflix because there's been some breaking news that they've announced their ad-supported tier. So, two angles I want you to talk about this from. Number one, personally, do you think you'll change your price? Do you think you change your package on Netflix? Because I'm sure you have Netflix. That's one of the benefits of having the brand. And number two, what do you think it's going to do to the stock and the brand and the general overall well-being of the company?
So, do you want to go first, Steve?
No, you, please, because I don't actually know what the numbers are on the prices for this thing.
Okay, so I've got the numbers here. They're as follows. They're going to charge $6.99 US. That's obviously in America. Over here, it's going to be $4.99 a month. The ad load, so per content hour, has been confirmed. We did break it as a breaking story last week. About 4 minutes per content hour. They've said it'll be between 4 and 6. So for every hour of content you watch on Netflix, you're going to get between 4 and 6 minutes of advertisement. They did say that the ad supported version will have about 5 or 10% of content missing, and that's due to licensing deals. So Netflix, when they license the content in, will have licensed it in and saying, we won't be placing any adverts on that, so there's no need to revenue share. Obviously, they can't rewrite the contract on those things, or they won't rewrite the contracts. Or on some shows, they're just not getting the viewership that it's worth rewriting the content, the contract on them. So the ad version will have about, it reckons, max 10% of shows missing from the whole catalogue. But I think it's really positive. I said it last week. There's a number of ways here that you can look at this, but the best thing to look at is if this attracts new customers and a limited amount of downgrades, then there may be some short-term pain for Netflix. But if you can't see a gradual revenue and profit increase from this, I think you're just not looking hard enough, because 4 to 6 minutes of content load per hour is not a lot. At the moment, you're getting probably 15 minutes on cable TV per content hour. It might be 20, depending on what point you measure it. Netflix can slowly crank that up. The difference between 4 minutes and 5 minutes is extra money. The difference between 5 minutes and 6 minutes is extra money. Eventually, they'll crank that all the way up to 15 minutes, I'm afraid to tell you. And the price of that can go up as well. They've actually sold the full ad inventory as well. That's all ready to go. When you sell, when you have 4 minutes to 5 minutes to 6 minutes, you can sell more ad inventory as well. This is all going to go onto Netflix's top line. So I think this is a very positive move. I think the big concern people had with Netflix was price. They didn't realise they were getting value for money. If people are accepting of 4 minutes of advertising on Netflix, and you get it essentially half price. I think that's a good move for Netflix, and I think I can just see a clear path to more revenue here.
I don't disagree with you, but to see it from the other side of it, I think the price at $4.99 in the UK is too low. I will change to an ad-supported. I'm a top tier customer at the moment. Although, with my streaming services right now, Netflix would be my first to cut out of the Disney, Amazon. Yeah, Disney and Amazon are the only two I have at the moment. Netflix would be the first one to cut on that one. Interesting that you said 10% of the library is going to disappear, but I imagine that's not the Netflix originals content, which is what we're there for. You're there on Netflix to get that originals content now, because that's what's causing all the stir. That's the water cooler conversation that's going out there at the moment. However, I think there will be a bit of a shift downwards into the lower tiers from the upper tiers, particularly me. I think I will shift. I think I will.
That's not a massive issue, though, because this is an introductory rate. This is to get that subscriber number up, get people back paying again, and that's another thing that they'll slowly crank up on you over time. I'm afraid you'll be paying more money to watch more advertising.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just the way it's going to work, I'm afraid. But this is a good rate, and if people are accepting of a couple of minutes of advertising, which, Steve and I don't know if he was on the show when we talked about it, Paul, but we said that there's a few ways that they'll go about this. They'll make the tier so horrible, like Spotify does, that absolutely nobody will want to swap to it, or people who do swap to it will quickly swap off. They've actually gone the opposite way in this, and I think they're trying to make this nice and gently, and sort of like give you a little bit of advertisements, and a little bit like YouTube has done, where you used to watch a 15-second skippable advert, and now you have to watch about 15 minutes of adverts 3 times before you can actually watch the content you've clicked on. But go on, Steve. Sorry, I realise I am interrupting you.
No, that makes it a much more attractive proposition to advertisers, I guess, right? If you're going to charge not very much and try and get people in. I mean, you covered what I was thinking, which is that this feels like you've talked about Netflix as a kind of frog boiling thing, and a gentle introductory rate stops people jumping out. The only other thing I had was at £4.99. I mean, by today's sort of conversion, that's about $4.99.
Bargain for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a much better deal for us compared to the US. Yeah, I mean, Netflix has got to be a goldmine for advertisers. Advertisers must be looking at that and licking their lips, going, right, I can't believe we're going to pay top dollar to be in front of the eyes of 200 million subscribers.
They are,
and it's going to be a big old thing, isn't it?
Well, I've got the data on that because last week we said that we'd heard that Netflix were offering their cost per milli out at £65, which was about £20 higher than what you get on top quality cable TV. We've actually found out that Microsoft Handling have actually released and said they've actually been doing it at 50. So they've actually gone 5 higher than top quality cable telly, and they've sold out as well, which is good because you think Netflix should have or should quickly be able to build up an element of targeting that cable TV can't do. Cable TV kind of says to advertisers, the Super Bowl's on, the Super Bowl, people will drink beer, therefore you put beer advertisements there, whereas Netflix will be saying, well, Steve and Paul, they watch Peppa Pig every week, so you know what I mean, the best thing not to advertise to them would be like Danish bacon or something like that. So I think that'll be I think that's quite that's another good thing for Netflix.
What are they going to advertise to me? Beanbags and Cheetos, basically, because that's all I do is sit in front of Netflix on a beanbag eating crisps.
Sangria, sun loungers, board shorts, beach towels.
You reminded me, actually, because you talked about Spotify, and I actually started using Spotify on some of... Because I don't get very long to look around any of these cities that I've been going to recently. So I want to get a quick look around. And what I've been doing is putting in my buds and putting it on Spotify. And I specifically have been going around listening to lo-fi beats. I don't know if anyone is familiar with YouTube. Now, it's very... Lo-fi beats. It's just like a little hip hop beat with a little bit of sound over the top of it. It's just a very calming, soothing type of music, and I kind of stare at these cities, and try and take it all in with these lo-fi beats. But every half an hour I'm getting an advert in the language of the country that I'm in, by the way, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And I can't take it. I can't take it, but I'm not willing to pay for it. I'm not willing to pay for the subscription to Spotify, even for that. So yeah, it is annoying, and I just hope Netflix doesn't get to that point.
We've just paid for the family version of Spotify. My wife wanted to get off Apple Music because she said it's garbage, and we've gone onto Spotify, and she cannot believe how much better it is. Just at knowing what track to play next, the algorithm of feeding her something different or something new that she might like, she just said is like remarkably better. So I've managed to rope her into cutting the grass this summer. So she's been out there with her Apple Pods on. She loves cutting the grass now with her AirPods in and Spotify on. And I'm like you, Paul. There's a number of times the neighbour caught me in the sun lounge, in the hammock, while she was cutting the grass, reading, and he sort of looked at me as if to say, how have you wrangled this?
Spotify, mate. Spotify Premium.
Spotify, yeah. I pay it, yeah.
What an advert. What an advert for Spotify. I haven't checked it out, actually, but Amazon have got a Prime Music as well, and I'm already signed up to Amazon. I've never used it. I don't know if you guys have used it.
I haven't used it. I'm an Amazon shareholder. I'm not a Spotify shareholder, but I also have Spotify Family for what it's worth. We used to just do it by sharing an account, and the thing with that is you can play stuff out of more than one device, which is quite nice, but you can only play one thing. So my wife would be kind of in the gym, and I'd be changing the stuff in her ears, deliberately mostly, making it play Tiger Feet by Mud wherever she was, and then she'd be in the car driving along, because the car thing wasn't picking up her phone as a signal. She couldn't change it either. I'd just play that endlessly. So then we got a family one where you can now listen to different things.
Yeah, we've done that with one of the kids at work before. We've hooked his AirPods up to somebody else's phone, and then whenever he puts his AirPods in, we just play something random out of his earphones, and he's been like, somebody has hacked my AirPods.
Another brilliant advertisement for Spotify. Want your husband to stop torturing you? Buy premium. There you go. But yeah, no, on Amazon, I assume you have Prime memberships. Do you both? Yeah, you might be interested to see the stuff that you get free with it, particularly Amazon Music, which I am going to have a look at in the next couple of days. Now, Amazon Video I'm using all the time. I'm on Amazon Video right now more than I am on Netflix or Disney, which is a big surprise because it's got some really good content on there now. And one you might not have known about is Amazon Books. Steve D, you're a big reader. Amazon Books, you get like 7 free books a month or something silly like that.
Is that with Audible? Is it?
No, it's not Audible. The physical books. Yeah, you don't get the audiobooks, which is a bit annoying to me because I would have rather do the audiobooks, but no, they have Audible, don't they? Which is $7.99 a month. And
yeah, I don't. Is it for Kindle reading? Is it? 'Cause I hate reading off a Kindle.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is digital reading. So, obviously, if it's not your thing, then that's fine. But I didn't realise that you have access to thousands and thousands of books.
No, that's interesting.
I'm like an Amazon advertisement right now, but I'm surprised at how good it is. And as soon as I can, I'll be back buying Amazon again. I want to wait till their next quarter comes out first because I think the data is going to be. I know you don't agree, but I think the data is going to be pretty shocking, and it's going to have a bit of a shock on the price.
I don't have a view on that, but to me, I do know about Amazon Books for what it's worth, but I didn't know about Amazon Music. Amazon Music feels to me like Apple Maps, by which I sort of mean, why? No one's using that. There's already I own Apple and I own Amazon, but even I think Apple Maps is not a thing that anyone really needs. Everyone's getting their mapping stuff through Google, aren't they?
Well,
I used to use Apple Maps.
Use Apple. Right, you're used to.
I don't have an iPhone now, though.
There's also Alexa Auto, I think it's called as well. I don't know whether you know that. So if you've got an older car that maybe doesn't have like an aux in or anything like that, I think you might have to have an aux in actually. But if you don't, if you're sick of using CDs and things like that, you can plug an Alexa Auto into it, and you can basically use Alexa in your car to select tracks from Amazon Music and play them through your stereo for you. And they were in this recent sale that Amazon's had, which seems to be a bit of a flop. Just off my head, I think there was nothing in there really. I bought 2 books. That was all I've managed to buy. They were selling the Alexa Auto at half price. I think it was £25 from 50. So that's a worthwhile addition if you want to upgrade your car.
That's interesting. I wonder if Google will do something similar. I know they have Android Auto, but it's been a real annoyance because I've got a really old car, so I could do with something like that plugs into the aux port. Yeah, interesting. Very, very good.